Yo, 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 yo.
How are we doing, people?
We're all here.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
We're good.
So we got, let's see, we got Rodney, we got DJ Edu, we got, of course, say hello to Crystal before we go any further in the comments. Could you say good evening to Crystal? Makes her feel wanted.
Hello, Crystal.
And guess what else we got, people?
Hi, guys. Sarah Rod.
Guess what else we got? We got plenty of Manchester United talk, so it's going to be comedy hour. As you know, it's comedy hour returns. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Shouts to Daddy Ernie, Crystal Davis, DJ Ed. Who else have we got, Ernie? The great Rodney, Cool Ruler Hines in the house.
Yeah.
And Scott James from Stomp Radio. You can see him sporting his lovely Burnley colours.
It's better than Villa.
Are you from Burnley, lad?
It's better than Aston Villa, that's for sure.
Scott James, West Ham supporter, all in the house. We got European royalty in the house and people trying to catch up to be European royalty. As you saw this week, Manchester United exited the Champions League. They should have been there, but they couldn't get the job done at the Theatre of Dreams. Liverpool got the job done last week, and also Liverpool got the job done in that title chase. It's going all the way. Liverpool, Arsenal, we have to discuss, even though Crystal and Rodney want us to just drift along and talk about other things like Marcus Rashford and Ian Wright and all these kind of things. We will talk about all of that, but it's the fixture list. Guys, if you're watching right now, please say hello to, as Ernie said, say hello to Crystal now. She's here.
She's here.
She's here.
Just tell her, Crystal.
Just tell her all these things that you... Just tell her.
Yeah,
Just tell her hello. Come on.
Crystal clear as well.
And keep it clean as well.
Always clean. Tell her. And say hello to the rest of the team. So, guys, we might as well start with Rodney Hines. Love to start with Rodney Hines. We haven't seen the Cool Ruler for a bit. I don't know. I know he's busy, but he took time out to miss the Arsenal-Liverpool, but he headed off to West Ham. What's going on, Rodney?
Well, Rob, thanks for that introduction. I do go to different games. It's, I do send other people to other games. It does happen.
Well, come on. That was the biggest. That was Arsenal's biggest game in years.
Was it? I don't
Top
think so.
four. Since 2017, Rodney?
Listen, you had a situation whereby Arsenal, fourth in the table, unexpectedly so in many people's eyes, were playing a team that's building some serious momentum. I think the game was more about Liverpool than it was about Arsenal, in all honesty. And I think that's what the result displayed at the end of the day. Liverpool's greater ability, a seasoned football team. I think what's interesting is Jurgen Klopp is evolving that team in front of our very eyes with the likes of Diaz. Jota can't get into necessarily starting 11. I like what he's doing there. Well, as I said, Arsenal, well done for getting to where they are at this moment in time. But I think the better team won, no doubt about it.
Yeah, we saw the better team won. Crystal, I told you I wouldn't go at you hard because I watched the game and I thought to myself, this Arsenal, forget the Arsenal front line. I thought this Arsenal midfield, it looks okay. It does a really balanced job. And I've never studied Odegaard, but you were really tidy in the first half. What went wrong?
I don't think anything went wrong. I just think we got beat by the superior team. I think going into the game, I was looking at it more like upward trajectory versus superiority. And it's inevitable that the superiority will come out on top. You look on the Liverpool bench, you see that they've got the likes of Salah and Firmino. That's frightening stuff. The only ones that could come off the bench in terms of Arsenal and potentially turn the game on its head is Emil Smith-Rowe and Nicola Pepe. That's only two players that Arsenal could potentially rely on. But I'm pleased with the results. And the reason why I'm pleased with the results is when you look back at the Carabao Cup games over the first leg and the second leg, Arsenal had 2 red cards apiece from both games. So for this game, I was approaching it and saying, how are Arsenal like in terms of their discipline? Are they going to be disciplined and not self-destruct? And it's pleasing to see that they didn't do that with a young squad that's growing. They're going to make mistakes, but I'm glad, like, unlike games against Manchester City this season so far and Liverpool, that they didn't shoot themselves in the foot and go down to 10 men. So there's more positives there than negatives, definitely.
What I would also add, Rob, is that bigger and so-called better teams than Arsenal have been humiliated by Liverpool this season, home and away. So, with all due respect, you mentioned Martin Odegaard. I didn't actually see the game, but from what I gather, he probably had his quietest and most non-influential game for a little while. And I think in terms of Arsenal, if you look at the table, they're 4th at the moment. Every team above them has beaten them at the Emirates.
Yeah.
City, quite fortunately. Liverpool, convincingly. Chelsea, I think 2 goals by Lukaku early in the season, quite convincingly. That is the standard that Arsenal need to aspire to. And you're not going to have that if you don't have a number 9 or 2 number 9s that can put the ball in the back of the net when all the wonderful midfield play is exactly what it is. So that's what Arsenal aspire to. They are nowhere close. I think Manchester United's demise, Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham. Yeah, well, with all due respect, with Manchester United's credibility, budget, and the players that they have in their squad, with all due respect, they should be in or around the title chase on a genuine basis, as far as I'm concerned. But if you look at Arsenal, the teams above them is what they aspire to, with all due respect. Tottenham's inability to put 2 or 3 good results together has given Arsenal opportunity. Man United's fall from grace, the same thing. I mean, listen, we've had Wolves floating around the top 6 in Champions League football. They're you know what I mean? So I just think that, you know, we and West Ham, with all due respect, are still in with a shout. So let's not write them out, even though they might be going down a different path and might prioritize a fantastic Europa League situation at the moment. So the top 4 should really include Manchester United traditionally. So it's opened the door for everybody else, and Arsenal just happened to be that. And I want to give Mikel Arteta just a little bit of praise. 3 games played at the start of the season, lost to Brentford, and still sniffing around the top 4 opportunity. Not too bad.
Not too bad. So listen, Man United, obviously you had a great weekend last week, Saturday, beating Tottenham 3-2. Hat-trick from Cristiano Ronaldo, and then Ernie and Edu. Come on, where's this inconsistency coming from? And don't say Ernie, Harry Maguire. So let's start with.
He nearly messed it up. Right? It's only because of Cristiano. Otherwise, Maguire once again would be front page news. How he is in the England squad.
Oh,
I mean, that's
Ernie, come on,
England
man.
ain't gonna win nothing.
Come on, Ernie.
Like that in there.
Come on, Ernie. Ernie. He didn't get hackled outside the ground. Harry Maguire was all right. He got on the bus. Nice.
Yeah. But I'm watching. I don't work business, but I tell you what, he should get on the bus, and the bus should just carry on to oblivion, mate. With him one on there. You know what I'm saying? We got
so lucky. What happened Wednesday night? What happened Wednesday night, bro?
I told you I was not confident on Wednesday night. I weren't confident, and it proved. I mean, the ref had a mare as well. The ref was a little bit suspect as well, but I wasn't really confident on Wednesday night. The way that things are running up there is it's like if Ronaldo don't score, we don't win. And, you know, for somebody at 37 to have that on his shoulders is not a good look.
Well, Edu was saying with Pogba not in the squad, you don't win. So, Edu, what happened Wednesday night and where do we go from here?
With him as well. I was surprised with him.
Yeah,
where do we go from here, Edu? DJ Edu.
The lineup.
You're not a top red. I know you're not.
No, I'm not, man. When I saw the lineup, I knew that I gave 40% of the blame to Ralph because already he put in people against a team that we know is organized, that will shithouse the place. They will have banks of players who are drilled. Simeone's football we know is ugly. And then we put on players who literally cannot hold the ball, cannot break the lines. And, like Bruno, it's like the ball is like a time bomb. Every time he gets it, he just wants to spray it. The distribution.
Give me the ball. That's the give me the ball look.
Yeah, I know. The distribution of our goalkeeper is suspect. He always gives the ball away. He can't take a touch. Maguire, he turns like a truck. He can't, this ball playing center half thing, I do not understand.
No.
And if you check the game, if you check the first goal, the offside goal, he did exactly the same thing. He stepped out into defense, but he steps out of defense to go into the midfield to try and be cheeky and be clever. But that happens so many times because Bruno is not disciplined. He goes wherever he wants to go. He hunts by himself, almost like he's playing for himself. So when he leaves and everybody tries to cover, Ronaldo comes in, there's a big gaping hole. And this thing where we're like, hey, we should get a defensive midfielder or somebody else. One person cannot defend a whole midfield. That's why we're getting overrun, because players are not disciplined. So we only have McTominay, who is shit at best. He passes the ball and hides behind players and doesn't give people options. I don't know why we have people in midfield who are afraid of the ball.
But this man is not afraid of the ball, and he's not afraid of his barber. Where was Paul?
I mean, when you bench, unless it was because of the house break-in or whatever, I don't know.
So you say he was fitting his alarm then?
Yeah,
he was deciding where to put the ring cameras.
Yep, I think with Pogba is quite a sad story. I'm a big fan of Pogba, and I think he's one of the only, probably apart from Ronaldo, one of the world-class players we have in the team. But he hasn't been utilized to his strengths. He's been made the makeshift man to cover here and there. I mean, imagine if you're playing Sunday League and McTominay is being picked ahead of you. You would be shitting yourself. And all these guys who you play better, you're a World Cup winner. You won titles, the Scudetto in Italy. I mean, you've played with world-class players. But I think he's surrounded by scrubs, and it's really hard to play against 11 men playing against 6 or 5 men when you have other people in your team playing against you. Plus, we had a ref who was he was asleep, on the day. So, I mean, how many men are playing against us? And don't even get me on PR Rashford or PR Ford or, it's just, I mean, everyone's playing against us. It's really
wow. So you spoke to me, I spoke to you earlier on, and you did say to me, Robbo, to be fair, you'd like to see one transfer. And I know the image is right here. We brought up. Are you really saying this would be the first player you would let go from to rejuvenate Manchester United? Are you honestly saying this is the guy?
Yes, and this is what I'll tell you why. Robbo, I've been onto this guy from time. Every time we spoke, I told you about Bruno. The problem I have with Bruno is I'm thinking if a player is 26 going 27 and he's still playing in Portugal, something is wrong with the player. If he was that good, Madrid, all these people would have snapped him up. He's left Portugal, and these lot have won the title without him. And when he was there for the 3 years, he wasn't winning. Portugal don't pick him to play. All these are signs. And against Tottenham, when he wasn't there, we were keeping him and McTominay were not in the midfield. We were keeping the ball better. We're breaking the lines. When there was no through ball, we were recycling the ball, shifting them left to right, and creating space. That doesn't happen when he's there because he gets the ball and he just wants to spray. He'll spray 10 times. 4 of those will go off, and then top reds will be like, yeah, see, look, we saw he said. I mean, they had this guy in the same conversations with Cantona. This guy,
so you think he's the first? You think he's the first person before? I know. Ernie would say Maguire, but you think that starts resolving situations for Manchester United would be Bruno Fernandes?
He is one of them because if you see our spine is very weak. And when you're 26, and you can't nail a position, what position does he play? You speak to 10 United fans, one will tell you he's a 6, I'll tell you he's a 10, he's a striker, but he doesn't possess any of the skills that, he can't receive the ball, he can't quick turn, he's not, he's not good on the ball, he can't beat a man, so he's not a midfielder, he's not a striker. What is he?
So, hold on, Edu, do you say that he was first season then? Just a one season wonder?
No, because he was given the license to do whatever he wanted to do. So, and 65% of the goals were penalties. So when Ronaldo came in, I knew he would suffer because Ronaldo is operating in the areas that he's operating in, or he'd like to operate. So he gets exposed because there's no penalties. Penalties have dried up because there's no one. Martial used to get all our penalties because that's the only, risk-taking striker we had. So I'm just thinking that it's a shit show, bro. It's really bad.
Scott, we're going to come to you. We want to talk about Burnley and Aston Villa in a bit. but I want to throw this out to Rodney. I did pre-Rodney and said that we will talk West Ham. So we will talk about West Ham with yourself and Ernie, who went to the match. But you talk about players suffering. He's suffering. The lad is suffering. We saw on social media, it went everywhere. He felt that he needed to answer to fans that were abusing him in the car park of the Manchester United ground, which led to him apologizing. Rodney, I'm not on this protect Marcus Rashford at all costs. I think what he's done outside of football has been wonderful, but there's obviously footballers that we can talk. And I know you over the years have met many footballers that's done outstanding work outside football, but this protect Marcus Rashford at all costs. How far do we go with it? We are going to we're going to talk about Ian Wright.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's about protecting Marcus Rashford because he's a footballer. He's in a public industry, so he's there to be judged every time he plays, and obviously he has not been playing. I want to just go on maybe the wider issue. I think Marcus is actually suffering, if that's the right word in the football context, from the malaise that's happening at Manchester United generally. You can't isolate the two. For me, Rangnick was a mistake. I think what Manchester United needed was a manager, whether it be Poch, whether it be Conte, to define how they're going to play. I heard what DJ Edu said about Bruno Fernandes. But what's going to happen now, some of the script is going to be ripped up when the new manager comes in the summer, whoever that may be, and Man United have to go again. I know Rangnick is supposed to be going upstairs, but Rangnick has not lost too many Premier League games, by the way. I think 2, if that.
Yeah.
I think what happens, and I will answer the question, I think Atletico Madrid and other teams now come to Old Trafford and there's no fear, with all due respect, because there's just this general malaise. And I think that's where Marcus is a gifted footballer. I think it was Van Gaal that gave him his opportunity, and we saw a freshness and an excitement, and we saw goals. That has disappeared coincidentally as Man United, with all due respect, have gone backwards in terms of their development. And I think where Man United's challenges have come is, you see that Europa League final that Man United were in and they lost on penalties. That is what you call a seminal moment, because if you win that, it gives Ollie more time, it gives the team and the club more confidence. There's some silverware in the cabinet, and you can try and push on. It is still about success. And why Man United get in the next so strongly is because at the right moment, we call them the biggest club in the world. We know what Sir Alex's legacy is. So when it's not performing, it's a massive story. And I just think Marcus Rashford is just caught up in the general malaise, because with all due respect, you could pick out half a dozen players in that Man United squad that could be jogged on.
Marcus Rashford has not been playing well for 2 years, and I beg to differ, only because when you watch his game at his age, he's doing exactly the same things that he was doing when he was young. It's like before they were going off, yes, but now they're not. I see a player running into traffic, playing on the right, cutting, playing on the left, cutting in, skying the ball into the car park.
He just held on to the ball for ages.
Yeah,
the time he came
there's no football IQ there.
It's called a lack of confidence.
But if you're lacking confidence, then go back to basics.
But
what Elanga does is basic.
But what you could say as well, you might as well put that Wan-Bissaka in that drum, because he joined Man United as the next big thing. You could certainly put Harry Maguire, who cost you a lot of money, in the same.
You can't put Sancho though, Rodney.
No. You could put Fred and McTominay based on DJ Edo's vision of them. And Sancho's only just come to the party, by the way.
Well, Fred ain't been playing too bad.
He doesn't hide though, Sancho.
But don't forget what we're saying though. If you want to put the spotlight, and I'm not protecting Marcus Rashford, but if you can put the spotlight on Marcus Rashford, there are other players you could put that spotlight on as well, and that is why Man United are struggling to even be in fourth place. It is a collective malaise, and Marcus Rashford, with his profile and as you said, the stuff that he does away from the field, his profile might be the biggest of the lot. So he's probably going to get it in the neck more so. Fair enough. You're a footballer.
Do you think there was only getting at Marcus Rashford when the team bus was pulling off?
No, they got Maguire too, but he didn't respond. I mean,
they went for Maguire. They booed him, right?
Maguire will probably start for England in the next two internationals. And that's a scenario simply because Gareth Southgate, right or wrong, is very loyal to players that have never let England down. Okay, so
like Greece, yeah,
like Greece,
like in Greece, yeah,
yeah, like Greece. I'm just saying.
You know who I am.
At the end of the day, there's half a dozen players. I mean, I covered Manchester United game away to Brentford, where Brentford were killing Man United in the first 45 minutes, if you remember. David De Gea was making saves left, right, and centre. The guy that turned that around was actually Bruno Fernandes. He was breaking lines. He was the captain on the day. And I've said to Ernie already, I believe Bruno Fernandes should be your captain, not Harry Maguire, because love him or hate him, for me, and he's not been in the best of form, but we could be talking about any Man United player on that level, he makes things happen. And I agree with you that I think the Ronaldo acquisition, which is a tick in the box for Man United, always meant that Bruno Fernandes was going to struggle. Because as you said, DJ, it was the same space, and Ronaldo's now going to take the penalties as well. So I just think that clarity is an important thing, and I know people don't want me to say what I'm going to say. Arsenal are in fourth position at the moment. A lot of dead wood, to use Crystal's term 18 months ago, has been moved on at that football club. Okay, I think United need to do the same, but they need to give the manager the job, back him with the big decisions, and see what happens from there. Because it's just a malaise at the moment. Teams are coming to the Fortress Old Trafford thinking that they can win.
So, Rodney, are you saying that Marcus Rashford has got a very, 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 very good PR agent?
Just got to address something I saw. Someone just sent me the Marcus Rashford video where he confronted the fans because the fans were digging him out, and he offered one of them out. I don't know who's doing it, man. Who's doing this? Apologizing for him. What the f*** is he apologizing for that for? These people quick to, I'm so sorry. That's what gives these fans that fuel, think they can just dig people out. Marcus, stand your ground, bro. Tell them about their rascal out self, yes? You know what I mean? You got these people jumping on, Marcus is so sorry. Don't be f***ing sorry for that, bro. Some of them fans love giving it, they can't take it, man. You just do your stuff, get back to where you need to be, bro, where you're playing. F*** them fans, bro. Everybody, have a nice day, man.
And protect Marcus Rashford at all costs.
That's not too far from the truth, because I mean I think that Marcus, there's a player in there, and if he went on the transfer market to freshen himself up, I mean, some of the talk is this: Pochettino will get the job. In comes Harry Kane. Yeah, in comes
England again. It'll be England 2.0.
This is the talk in the press box.
Yeah,
this is the talk in the press box. In comes Poch, in comes Kane, who wants to be in Manchester anyway. Probably the red half now and not the blue half. Out goes maybe a Rashford. Trust me, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, if Rashford comes, well, maybe not Chelsea fans in their current climate, but there'll be clubs queuing for Marcus Rashford.
Do you reckon?
Maybe, yes, without doubt.
West Ham would have Rashford, wouldn't he?
Brighton, West Ham,
Newcastle,
Brentford.
tell you what, you can send him back down the M1 with Lingard.
Scott, we are going to talk about European football, and I'm not a hater. UEFA Champions. I mean, the conference is a bit. That's a bit, in the words of our friend Ern, that's a bit pooey. That smells. But but UEFA is it's even drawn out, Daddy Ernie. This is the draw for the Champions League. Chelsea versus Real Madrid again. Confirmed by Rodney Hines. Manchester City versus Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, Bayern Munich, and what a hard tie. Benfica. That is going to be a mountain to climb versus Liverpool.
You're going to stomp all over Benfica.
Come on.
No, that won't be easy. That won't be easy. Trust me.
In the words of Klopp, that's not an easy game. It's not an easy game.
Yeah.
But West Ham are doing great guns in Europe. I mean, Ernie doesn't even watch football. He's on a football show. But Ernie actually left his yard to go to East London to watch West Ham. Ernie, did you find the West Ham way, Ernie? That was your mission.
I actually went with Trevor. You know, Trevor
White.
Yeah, you know, Trevor, who comes on the program, in our program. He's in the room tonight, actually. Big Trev, right? Thank you. Trevor Walsh. Big Trevor Walsh. We went on there. He got me a ticket. And I was a little bit apprehensive going down there, actually, because I thought, West Ham did it. But it was a really good night. The beer was a bit iffy. Asked for a lager and lime. They never had no lime, bro. What's going on down there?
You had to carry
Pies were a little bit shaky. Trevor threw his pie away last week. But that aside, they were in full voice down there, and it was a fantastic atmosphere. And when they scored, oh, my God, I thought it was World War breaking out. It was pandemonium.
Did you applaud, Ernie?
Yeah, I applaud some of them. But anybody
who was you applauding? Tell me who you was applauding. I need to hear this.
Yalaменko,
the Ukrainian player.
Yeah, I was applauding him. Right,
sounds about right. That sounds about right for you, Ern.
Yeah. Well, no, but he can't. You know, Trevor said to me when he come on. Trevor said to me, "I bet you he scores the winner." Lo and behold, what does he do? Scores the winner. I was applauding my man up front there, Crystal's friend.
Yeah, you need to, because I was sitting there and I was side-eyeing you because he did provide the assist. Let's not forget
he provided the assist, but he done some things there that if I was playing football, I'd knock him out. I'd ask him what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the pressure, isn't it? But I mean, without Mikel Antonio's assist, West Ham probably wouldn't have had that added bit of momentum, that added bit of inspiration to actually push on and throw everything at is it Red Star Belgrade? Was that Rangers? No. Sevilla, sorry, that was Rangers. I'm thinking of Kamar Roof. Yeah, they probably wouldn't have had that added bit of momentum. So you needed that.
Ernie said to me earlier on in our pre-show conversation, he said he's the worst footballer I've ever seen with my own two eyes. You said he's got the touch of an elephant, and his legs have gone. And that's why Jamaica hasn't got anywhere. That's what you said.
Well, you didn't say
it. Yeah, Mikel Antonio.
Right? He was playing up front by himself last night, but some touches and some balls that he passed, I thought was on Hackney Marshes.
No.
What do you reckon of the game, Trev? Scott, how did you see the game?
To be honest with you, I'm not going to disagree with some of them comments, Ernie, because as a season ticket holder and a regular fan that goes to see West Ham home and away, I can't disagree with some of them comments because I watch him sometimes and I'm very, very frustrated because
he said he ain't got no legs. Crystal said he has.
He's got
Jamaica
energy. He's got that doesn't do him any favours when he goes in on international duty. To be honest, doesn't do him any favours. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's to do with the flights or the food, or he goes and has a little party
because he's representing Jamaica, the land he loves.
But to be honest, I know what you're saying, and I agree. Some of his touches, they're not good. But he gives 100%, and I wouldn't like to play against him. And there's a lot of defenders in the Premier League that don't want to play against him. You know, he's a very physically strong man. When you see him, meet him in the flesh, you can see his physique. He's a strong, hefty guy, and he's a handful for most defenders at any level. That said, his technical touch and ability, it does go a little bit west at times. I will say that. So, unfortunately, You know, he's not got them sort of finesse touches. But last night, as Crystal said, the assist was brilliant. Even though I just think he didn't really, you know,
the ball just arrived.
He sort of swung a leg at it and it ended up on his head. You know, so but that's football, right?
Because where we were sitting, everyone was looking at one another, going, "How's he crossed that ball?"
To be honest, I'm not going to say it was a hit and hope, but it weren't far from it. From what I can make out of the cross, you know, it was a bit of a turn. He just whacks a leg on it, and it was over. But he is a frustrating footballer to watch. You know, when he played in different positions for us over time. Again, he's been frustrating. He gives the ball away. And in other times you'll watch him, you just think he's turned the game around. He's brilliant. He's Jekyll and Hyde player. That's it. That's the best way.
Scott, is it bearing in mind his injuries and his age? Is it not a case of better man management? Given the position that he plays in, surely if you're saying that last season you got to the Europa League, I trust this season you want to do one better, be it win the Europa League and go through to the Champions League or go through to the Champions Leagues via the league route. Surely at some point it comes down to better man management for Mikel Antonio.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's getting any. Like his man management, he couldn't get better man management at West Ham with boys and the team. To be fair,
that's true though, Crystal, because he gets first class flights from Jamaica in private jets. Think about it.
But they do nurture him, and all the interviews that I've seen him, he always praises Moyes and the backroom team for helping him and bringing him on. And I know that there's other players like Noble, etc., all push to help him. I think he probably realises. I see him on. I think it was the Sky, one of the Sky programs, and he was talking on there. And I just think that he may, in his own mind, lack a little bit of confidence. You know, I think he might be. I don't know his personality too well. He seems a joker. He's always up for these goal celebrations. He seems a fun guy, but I just think that maybe he just lacks that little bit of confidence at times. You know, he just lacks that belief in himself that he can. Even last night, a ball come to him, and it was almost like he was. Sorry about that. Sorry.
I thought that was me for a minute. Jeez.
Yeah, no, he's taking calls in there as well. I'm getting quite a few messages. So I just think it's like he just lacks that little spark, you know, that little bit of extra second of train of thought sometimes. Like the ball come to him last night, and he sort of didn't trip over the ball, but it sort of landed at his feet, and it was like, oh, it happened so quick. Whereas sometimes you just think, just whack the ball, man, get it in the goal.
Do you think that at times that he's perhaps guilty of overthinking things? Then?
Yeah,
okay.
That is one of his problems. He overthinks it, and I think that the lack of goals as well this season has really played on his mind. It really has, and he just.
How many goals have he? How many goals has he scored this season so far?
That's a
Mikel
good
Antonio.
I knew you was going to ask me a technical question like that.
Yeah, because this is a technical football show.
I know it is. I know it is.
This is not Burnley. It's not Burnley. The Burnley live show.
He's got 8 goals in the Premier League.
That's probably where he was last year.
Can I just jump in on this one? Well done to West Ham. I thought the light show and the performance yesterday against a very good team was fantastic. I think you're doing Mikel Antonio a disservice in many, many ways, right? Simply because I know he didn't have the greatest game yesterday, but what that guy is a trier, all right?
Yeah.
And not too long ago, this guy was on the verge of getting called up for England. Yeah, it didn't quite happen. Hence, he's now doing the flights to Jamaica and doing what he can there.
Nice.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you take away West Ham's biggest star name, who's going to go on to bigger and better things, I say respectfully, that's Declan Rice, right? Because that's a superb player there, right? West Ham's MO, as far as I'm concerned, and I do watch them a lot, is their teamwork and ethic. Yeah. It's not about, you know, the glamour at Arsenal or Man United or Chelsea. That is why, and Moyes deserves the most respect on his second tenure at West Ham. He's made West Ham European contenders. So, you know, we can nitpick all day long, and that's fine. It's an opinion-based subject we're talking about here. But talking about West Ham, quarterfinals of the Europa League, still with a shout at the Champions League. And it was only lastminute.com they fell by the wayside last year in terms of the Champions League. The Antonios of this world. Now, Antonio didn't have the greatest game last night, but was still able to produce a wonderful cross. I'm not going to say it was luck. It was a wonderful cross that Souček put in the back of the net. So with all due respect, West Ham fans, give thanks and praise that you've got a club and a manager, by the way, because if we now reference Man United,
David Moyes,
wasn't good enough for Man United, right?
David Moyes was supposed to be the chosen one. And with all due respect, his career went backwards after that Man United debacle, right? And I've said it before, teams are coming to Old Trafford with an expectancy now. That was the case when Moyes was at Old Trafford and took over from Sir Alex. Now, Moyes had to go and reinvent himself, okay? And he's done it wonderfully well. He has got a team. Do you remember when Everton were at their very worst and you couldn't beat them when he was in charge? You've probably got the same, but maybe with a little bit more quality at West Ham. Same blueprint.
More hard work.
So I've got a lot of time for West Ham and what David Moyes has done. I look at that draw today. I don't want to make too many bold predictions, but I can see a semi-final against Barcelona coming up if Barcelona get through against Eintracht. Barcelona coming to London Stadium on a Thursday night. Come on, West Ham fans. Come on. Respect what's happening.
After this question from Lewis. Can you answer this question from Lewis, Mastermind Scott? I don't know where this has come from. It sounds like there's some.
I'll tell you where that comes from.
Talk your mind. Talk.
When Moyes come to the end of his first spell with us, there was a lot of West Ham fans that wanted to see the back of him,
including yourself,
including myself. Yeah, because no truth. Because the football was
dire.
It was dire.
He plays for Tottenham.
It was dire. It was like watching Tottenham. It was terrible. You know, and to be honest with you, it got to, and then when Pellegrini come in, everyone thought, oh well, this is a new ease
because there's another foreign manager getting all the love.
Exactly, and I think a lot of West Ham fans bought into it. He was, he'd won things. He's got the name. He's got the prestige. In he comes, and that
El Glamorous.
Scott, at this time of the year, generally West Ham traditionally are fighting relegation or looking over their shoulders. Right? You're now in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. I have seen Liverpool come to London Stadium and get beaten. I've seen Chelsea come to the London Stadium and get beaten. And Man United only escaped with a win because Mark Noble ridiculously is getting pulled off the subs bench to take a penalty, which he missed. So with all due respect, managers will say this to you when you see them in their interviews. Okay, we lost, but we can take some positives out of it. I think Crystal referenced Arsenal losing to Liverpool, but you can take some positives. But what Moyes has done listen, you didn't buy anybody in January and everybody was crying.
Exactly. But let's have it right. If you think Arsenal fans at the start of the season, they all wanted the manager out. You know, a lot of
Agreed. Especially after the first 3 games of the new season.
They go on results. We're all the same. Same with Ollie at Man United. You know, in the end, he went. And but with Moyes, he come in and it's like a second wind, a second revolution, what you want to call it, Messiah, whatever you want to call him. He's come in, he's hit the ground running. He's got a different ethos around. He knows the club. He's got a different ethos now, a different outlook. Some different backroom staff have come in, and he's brilliant.
And you know what, Scott, as well.
Oh, my hands up.
On a personal level, I personally believe if any one of us had the privilege or pleasure of sitting down with David Moyes, he actually wanted to prove himself again in the English game. That is his motivator. That is his motivator.
Yes.
Having got the job at Man United under Sir Alex Ferguson say so. We all know that was the case. He chose. Yeah. David Moyes had to go away and reinvent himself. And I think it's not by coincidence that he's won a couple of Manager of the Year awards. Okay.
You probably more that one. Ernie, I don't know what this means, but I think it's in your reference to players leaving, but Alex top class. Ernie, I have a question for you. What would you have done with Rooney?
What would you? But you know that I wasn't a big Rooney fan when he was at Old Trafford. These players come to Old Trafford. All right, he come there.
Ernie, I suspect that you don't like players that English
I
players.
was going to say the same thing. Do you like any of your players, past or present?
Yeah.
Listen.
Who did you like? I know you like Dwight York and you like Dwight York's relationship and his wife.
No, you like Dwight because what's her name was you, Katie Price. She was looking for you. But no, this play. No, you know what happened, Edu? I think it's because I come from the Bobby Charlton era.
Oh,
These players rock up at Old Trafford, overpriced, right? And they just do, and they just do not cut it. You look at the people who really Scholes.
But we can't remember the Bobby Charlton era, Ernie.
Scholes.
What's the difference? What are you trying to say?
You see what's happening with United now? To me,
spit it out.
So what's happening to Man United now, right? To me, is nothing because I remember them getting relegated, bro. Right? And playing like this when we had Doherty. You remember when we had Tommy Doherty?
Look at Rodney. Rodney's like, do we have to?
With all due respect, for all football clubs, the game, the move on. It's moved on.
Listen, Rodney, I'm saying, I personally think that people come to Old Trafford for the money. They're not delivering.
But they come to most clubs for the money, Ernie.
Not delivering.
No footballers come to any club to play for free,
We know that. You know what I'm talking about.
Ernie, I'm trying to get it. Come on, Ernie. I'm trying to get it.
Cost us 80 million, 75 million for Virgil van Dijk over the road. What are you saying?
Well, that's down to your chief executives of paying that money, isn't it?
Well, that's why I'm voicing my opinion because we are getting shafted. We've been getting. Rooney scored 1 goal for Everton against Arsenal. 30 million from what?
I mean, I'm not a Man United. I'm not a Man United fan, and we have 2 legendary Man United fans. But with all due respect, I'm going to say this. I think, my personal opinion, that Wayne Rooney's career at Manchester United, I'm going to use this word, and I'm probably underplaying
let me see Ernie's reaction, though.
I'm going to just underplay it a little bit.
Go on.
Wayne Rooney's career at Manchester United was decent, to say the least.
Listen, I compare Rooney with my man who's there now.
Who's that?
Cristiano, because they were at United at the same time, right? Cristiano proved himself at Man United, went on to Real Madrid. The rest is history. Rooney just stayed at Man United because it was easy for him.
Is he your record goal scorer?
I don't care if he's our record.
No, I'm just asking.
Yes, he's our record goal scorer.
Did he help you?
Comparing Van Dijk and Maguire. Why we're doing that?
You cannot compare Van Dijk. You cannot compare. Who are you comparing Rooney with?
Ronaldo.
No, well, you can't compare.
They were at United at the same time. That's
all right, Ernie. All right. I hear you, Ernie. Listen, I understand. There's a lot of players in that squad that's not worthy of wearing that shirt. The shirt is heavy. Who do you rate then? Because Edu's put it out there. He said Bruno forgot about his business. Who are you saying should stay at the club? And I like that. I like that conversation about David De Gea not being able to play with his feet, which is important to the build-up play for Man United. Who do you think should go?
David De Gea's got to stay at this moment. And Henderson, to me, is not worthy of being number 1 at United at this moment in time. He hasn't been for a little while, actually. Good keeper in the making. De Gea stays. After that, well, Sancho's got to stay. Definitely Sancho's got to stay. I see enough things in Sancho. After that, just take your pick. The young boy who's coming, what's his name?
Elanga.
Yes, Elanga.
Elanga.
Looks like he's got something about him as well. But Pogba, he's got to go. Maguire's got to go.
Jeez.
Can I just
you won't have a team left.
You know something that people can say what they want about Fred, but Fred, to me, he's all right. He's not great.
What you saying, Ernie?
That's Pogba. Fred.
Ernie, what about Lingard? Would you make a Lingard?
Well, I don't know what's happened to Lingard. He was all right, and then I think he played better at West Ham than he played at United for a considerable time, actually. I think Lingard's a squad player, really.
Hey, so Ernie, what's your
United and stayed there though? Why do you think he went back to he was great at West Ham? Why do you think he went back? Is it the money that you were talking about earlier on? Why has he gone back?
No, well, United didn't want to sell him, did he? United never wanted to sell him. Yeah, and maybe Ronaldo come back and he thought, yeah, I'll have some of this as well. But he should have really stayed at West Ham because he looked like he found the West Ham way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yo, Robo, the biggest problem with our club, I think, is the structure. Because if the structure, the scouting, and
you're not talking about Maguire's head, are you?
Yeah, that's in the
fridge. that there goes in on the underside of the bar.
I know that one, man. Yeah,
no, Rodney. That's not the one that goes. That's not the one that. No, hang on. That's not the one that goes on the underside. This is the one that. This one that goes on the underside, bounce on the back, and it hits the gay on the back. Watch this.
Now, sports. Manchester United.
Ernie, stop! Ernie, stop! Ernie, stop! Edu, don't go no further because Ernie's gonna switch this live stream off.
You can take the mic all you want. It doesn't matter to me what happened to Manchester United.
It does matter to you, Ern. It does.
I've been supporting.
No, it happens. No, it does matter to you because when Man United are winning, like any football team, the chest is puffed out.
My chest is puffed out same way.
Ernie,
but you can't defend it. You can't defend it in the same way, though.
I can't defend it in the same way. But you know what? If Maguire ain't in the team sheet, I'm all right. Every time I see that false name on the team sheet, I'm upset.
Ernie used to come and bring me £20 every year. He stopped bringing me £20.
I used to collect that from Arsenal supporters for 25 years.
No problem, mate. No problem. What the game does to what the game does to all of us at some stage, it just humbles you. And as I said, Man United's challenge is that you're the biggest club in the world when things are going right, and now when we're having a laugh about it, it don't feel so good.
No, we're still the biggest club in the world.
Yeah, but what's that stand for now? What does that stand for now? You're not even the biggest. You're not even the biggest team in your own city anymore.
No, don't worry about it.
We're the biggest brand. We're just a brand.
Don't worry about
it. You're not the.
We didn't bring you back for that. Come on.
No, you're not the biggest team in your own city. And in terms of that traditional #1 rivalry with Liverpool right now, you're not there, man. You're not there.
Well, it's like, what, 2 seasons? 2 seasons before that.
More than 2 seasons. You know what? I think I saw a headline the other day. This is Manchester United's longest ever trophy drought. I don't know if anyone saw that.
Is that half a decade since the last
one? Yeah. With all due respect.
Before that, it was 25 years. It was 25 years before.
As I said,
Alex.
I think what the Man United suggestion suggests is this: that if you're at the top 1 minute, if you don't do the basics and continue to do it, there's going to be a fall. It's as simple as that.
People, if you're watching the show right now, we'd ask you at this point, it's easy. Please, just press the like button underneath the video.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yep.
That sign, press that like button. How's it go, Ernie? How'd you do it, Ernie? How's that dance? How you do it?
Like that. I do it like that. At this moment, I'm doing it like that.
Can I ask both Man United supporters on the line, who you would like to see as your next football manager?
Honestly, I don't care who the manager is.
You're sounding like Ernie now.
No, if the footballing structure is not sorted and the people behind the scenes are the same people, because like Conte said for Tottenham, the managers have been changing, but the players have been the same. The history of failure has had the same backroom stuff since. So there's something's got to give. So and also I believe that the people around the club, the ex-players, are also not helping the club, because
that's another thing.
The same players were playing shit when Oli was manager. They were blaming the players.
Yeah.
Now, same players are putting in the same kind of shift.
Are you talking about the likes of Gary Neville?
Yeah, Gary Neville. I
Neville,
think
Roy
Rio,
Keane, Roy Keane,
Gary
Rio.
Neville, Roy,
Scholes.
Scholes. I think I
Roy
understand.
Keane's been on the wolf path, isn't he?
But I understand now why some of these players were not being allowed to do media when they were at Manchester United. People like Scholes, I think Scholes should stick to eating toenails. He talks pants on Ray. I mean, honestly, I respect him as a legend. But what's happened now, I've lost the respect for some of the legends of the club because of the foolishness. I mean, Jamie Carragher analyzes Manchester United better than these guys. But obviously, their silence has been bought. I believe that they're being used for the propaganda machine that is Man United. One of the only clubs that has a PR and a social media team that buys players because they have 400 million followers. You know, when Ronaldo is I mean, why is our star?
That sounds like your radio station nowadays.
Yeah,
you got DJs on it just got social media accounts.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I know it's the trend, but I mean, come on, these apologies. I mean, is everyone, you guys looking forward to an apology to take the Mickey? We're doing it to ourselves, and I understand it's in the players' contracts. You know, for them to do the apologies because it's written for you and you have to post it. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's going up after so whichever manager comes in, they are going to fail if they don't change the scouting, if they don't have a director of football, if they do not have the proper structure. You know, Arnold and them need to move away. They need to get rid of, when a manager comes in, I think Ragnick has helped us. Because some of these players have been exposed.
Yeah.
Him and Ronaldo especially. Because Ronaldo holds the club to a higher standard. And some of these things have come to light. Because these guys have been getting away with murder. Oli was letting these guys just do whatever they want. And now they were not getting exposed. And what's happened is the fan base has been divided because they've brought in players who divide us. You have your favorites. Whereas other teams are looking at their team as a cohesive unit, as a team. So if we just don't, we need to rip it all apart, including the people who are making the decisions at the club. Then another manager coming in will have a chance, half a chance to do.
I saw a post in the week. I should have drawn it up where someone posted. I don't know if it's true. It says, well, Cristiano, because obviously everybody's watching the Cristiano trend. They said Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't eat cake. Maybe we should stop eating cake and we'll be better. and the Manchester United players stopped eating cake and they stayed to training at Carrington a little bit longer. But nothing has changed, Ernie.
Yeah. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's still, it's like Scott forever blowing bubbles down at West Ham. We always look on the bright side of life up at Old Trafford.
Well, you keep looking on that bright side. I can see that Arsenal are looking on the bright side. Now, Crystal and Rodney, we'll go very briefly. Although Arsenal did lose the match against Liverpool 2-0, this whole conversation about Deadwood leaving the club. Crystal was mentioning earlier on to me about Guendouzi leaving the club and a few other players. Is it down to this man? Is it really, really, really down to this man? Or is it something that's in what Manchester United don't quite have is a structure that's being put into the club? Or is it just Arteta identifying, I don't like you, you can leave. Is it down to club structure? I'm going to start with Crystal.
I think I am putting it down to Mikel Arteta. I think that their structure, they've amended the structure over the last, say, 5 seasons or so. But I think in terms of doing the hard work, in terms of unrooting that toxicity that's been there in the last decade, you put that down to one man, and that's Mikel Arteta. And it's weird because when he first came in and he was quite heavy with his discipline on certain players, particularly the young players, Matteo Guendouzi, that unsettled me because he was very firm with discipline on Guendouzi, but at the same time you had someone like Willian and other senior players within the squad. It's appeared that they could pretty much do whatever they wanted and there would be no consequences. But I think slowly you saw that he needed to he was showcasing that he needed to balance his discipline visibly, so that we do know that it is one rule for everyone and not one rule for you and another rule for a next person. And I think in hindsight that's probably the most sensible approach, because when he took over the job at Arsenal, it was quite clear that it was a toxic environment, whether we want to accept it or not. It was, and the results spoke volumes. It's evident to that. But I think there's no way, looking back now, Arteta could not have walked into that Arsenal dressing room and kicked out those senior players, because he was up against senior figures in the dressing room. So I think he took the right approach. Little by little, he removed the toxic players, and he also removed those players that Arsenal fans became so frustrated with over the years, like Mustafi. I thought it was impossible. I thought he was glued to the floor at the Emirates. Didn't think I would see the back of him. But slowly he shipped him out. So I think, yeah, you have to give Mikel Arteta credit for that, because let's not forget, post Wenger, other managers have been, be it temporarily or permanently, have been in Arteta's position, and you don't see those positives that's there right now.
Rodney, do you see that structural change from where you're looking?
I do see the structural change. As I said, right at the top of the team,
top four now.
Arsenal are by no. Listen, I'm not even going to sit here and wager that Arsenal even get that fourth place. There are some really difficult fixtures to come, starting tomorrow away to Aston Villa. But what I would say, just listening to DJ Edu earlier on in terms of what needs to happen at Man United, I think what Arteta's come in. He's come in, the people above him have given him some support. Yeah. And almost said, football people. And they've said, go ahead and do your thing. Even to the point where there's a little face-off with your captain, you can jog him on. Because obviously it's all investment, isn't it? So if the people upstairs are giving you support, and I liken this a little bit to Man City, when Guardiola wants to drop a player, a Sterling or Walker, nobody upstairs is interfering. And that's where I think, and I must go back to Man United. I don't think Jose Mourinho got that sort of support at Man United. I think there was always some sort of fight. But going back to the Arsenal point, I think there is a little bit of a structure in place. He now has maybe 3/4 of a team that are his players. By all accounts, once again, the grapevine suggests that Arsenal, win, lose or draw that fourth position, are going to go big in the transfer market next summer. A little bit like West Ham, they didn't do much in the January window. I just think it's better and more interesting times at Arsenal because something's in place. But let's not get this twisted. Mikel Arteta went on a run of results about 18 months ago where Arsenal couldn't win for toffee.
Yeah,
he was lucky to keep his job. And he kept the job because of the people upstairs, ultimately. Because that's what happens, isn't it? You need the people upstairs to back you. And some of those results, Emirates and away from home, were horrible. Absolutely horrible. And then something happened. I think it was a Boxing Day 2021 or something of that nature. Chelsea, Frank Lampard's Chelsea, came to the Emirates on Boxing Day. And Arsenal were in this very poor run of form, as I said. He put Emile Smith-Rowe into the team. And Arsenal won 3-1. From there on in, Arsenal moved slightly forward. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal are far from the finished product. Still have a long way to go before they can challenge the Chelseas, the Cities, the Liverpools. But something's in place. Where it goes, how it goes, I'm not sure. So there's a little template there, possibly.
Okay. Well, I mean, I asked the question earlier on about Mikel Arteta. I don't know how long the project lasts for, but as long as there's obviously success, and if he does get you to that the Holy Grail, you haven't been there since 2016-17.
I'll be honest with you, Rob. I don't think, and you take it when you can, obviously. I think Arsenal under Arteta and this new regime we're talking about are maybe a season and a half away from being able to challenge on a Champions League level. Because as I said earlier, they've lost at the Emirates to Chelsea, the European champions. They've lost to Liverpool at the Emirates, former champions of Europe and the league, and Man City. right? So if you can't deal with those three clubs in a Premier League basis, you're going to find it difficult to do anything in the Champions League.
Yeah, Edu, didn't they lose to us as well?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you want to win the Champions League, you have to beat a good English side. Simple as that. And I don't quite think Arsenal are ready for that, with all due respect.
Well, let's be frank. You've only been playing one game. There's been 2 weeks where you only played one game.
Can I say something to you?
So next season
Can I say something to you, my brother? You are now going to be playing only one game a week now.
But we can play 3 games. We've been through there. You haven't.
What do you say?
You see, this is once again, you go off on a tangent. With all due respect, we've spent the whole show talking about the ills of Man United, and you trump up about we only play one game a week.
Hang on, Rodney. But wouldn't Man United qualify for the Conference Peer League, the European Conference Peer League?
No. Mighty Manchester United have been humbled like everybody else. So as an Arsenal fan, I understand that. It happens in football. It's no birth given right that you will succeed all the time. And what it does, eventually, it humbles you, and that's what you got to do. Just
Rodney,
breathe in.
Rodney, just do us a favor.
And then go again.
Rodney, Talawa, just do us a favor. Hand him over. Hand him over. You can keep Martinelli. We ain't going to go hard on you. Just give us one.
But let me
give us the Ealing lad. Hand him over.
Let me explain something to you as well. I think we talked about it when Ronaldo came to United. I believe that I think United as well, as part of the challenge, arguably the finest goal scoring talent they have outside of Ronaldo is sadly involved in a legal case. I'm talking about Mason Greenwood.
His career is finished.
Highly talented.
It's finished.
Highly talented.
How can you say it's over?
You're
the judge.
It's over. If he gets found guilty, it's over. And at the moment, up to the other day, my missus, who don't know nothing about football, said, "What happened to that guy up at Manchester?" It's like he's gone completely off the radar.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that one. Sorry, don't worry.
Have you got some information? Where is he?
But you got intuition. Come on.
No, but the intuition, it ain't happening, bro. We've lost it completely. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, listen, I want to hear some good news coming out of East London, because they had some great songs over there last night.
Oh, we're moving to West Ham now. Okay.
Yeah,
before we move to West Ham, let me do something very, very quickly. Before we move to West Ham, I gotta get some love tonight. You ain't getting away, guys. Listen, I'm gonna ask each of you, looking at that draw, quarter-final draw. I don't know how it falls the next round, but just looking at the teams that are left, just give me who you believe out of those teams: Chelsea, Real Madrid, Man City, Atletico, all conquering Atletico Madrid. Let me get it right. Villarreal, Bayern, Benfica, Liverpool.
Chelsea.
Who's the final?
In the final? Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know how the draws work out, but
well, you know how the draw. The top two teams that you saw will play each other in the semi. So if you go back to the graphic, whoever wins at a Chelsea, Real Madrid, Man City, Atletico will be semi-finalists. And the same for the bottom.
Let's work it out.
I expect Chelsea to beat Real Madrid over 2 legs. Yeah. I expect Man City to beat Atletico over 2 legs. Yeah. I expect Bayern Munich to beat Villarreal, and I expect Liverpool to beat Benfica. So that would leave you. Would give you Chelsea, Man City in a semi-final, which was last year's final, wasn't it? Yeah. And you'd have Liverpool versus Bayern.
Ooh. Crystal, how it looked to you? You're muted.
You muted yourself, Crystal.
My apologies, guys. Yeah,
you can't like Guendouzi.
You can't argue with that the way Sir Rodney broke that down. I think I can back that. So 2 English teams facing off against each other in the next round, followed by Liverpool and Bayern Munich. And
so the Spanish teams don't get nothing after the man who went to Old Trafford and done what they did. Lord God, come on.
Because they beat us at Old Trafford, they ain't getting nothing. They weren't that good.
I think that first quarter final will be very, very tight, though. Very, very tight. Chelsea, Madrid.
Yeah.
Edu, what do you think? How did that final? How did it look to you? I know you're a fair lad.
Final for me looks like Manchester City and Liverpool.
Hey.
And I'm looking at Man City, and I'm thinking Pep wants
all costs.
yeah, he wants the Champions League more than. So I think Liverpool will put on the gas to try and get the league, because already Klopp has already got the Champions League, and Manchester City may just take it. It looks like they're here this year, because I don't know if that lack of a number 9 striker might come to hamper them, but it's just looking like a Liverpool Man City, and depending on who wants what more in the league, so it will balance that out.
How's that look to you, Scott? Because you're
right.
you're doing the air miles. You're on Ryanair. You got your good, West Ham flying here there. Europe. You know Europe like the back of your hand now.
Yeah,
I mean, how's it look to you?
Of course. I was looking at the Euro start today to get to Lyon. Yeah, I think it's going to be Liverpool in the final. City, I think Liverpool and City. If not, maybe Bayern. I don't know. It's out of those three for the final, definitely.
Yeah. I would go with them 3 there. I think it's Liverpool City, but if anybody's going to upset the apple cart, it's going to be Bayern.
It will be Bayern.
Do you know the team I believe will upset the apple cart? And we spoke off air. Rodney. I think Rodney confirmed they played last year. I think Real Madrid will upset the apple cart.
That's going to be a close one.
There's a lot of things going on with Chelsea. A lot of things.
Yeah, agreed.
We don't know if they're going to have fans. That might be an issue. We're not too sure where it's going to fall.
Has the club been sold yet? Because 9 o'clock was the club.
No, it's not been sold. And the thing with Real Madrid, this is a Real Madrid that's 10 points clear in the league. And it's a different Real Madrid. And I said to Rodney earlier on, it's like, it's got the same engine room. Casemiro, Modric, and Cruz. Mm-hmm. But the metallic outer side, it's looking fantastic. Milito, obviously the Brazilian guy up front, Benzema. Edu reckons Benzema is the best finisher in the world right now.
Who is?
Edu.
Arguably one of the best.
No, you didn't say
Benzema.
Benzema. You said he is the best striker in the world.
I don't sometimes think he gets the props he deserves, actually.
Yeah.
I can't see why people believe.
Yo, Robo, you don't stay at Madrid for all those years if you're shit, man.
And score goals. Score goals.
I can't see why people believe Chelsea walk Real Madrid. I can't see it. I
don't know. Maybe when I think about it and I don't get as emotional, that one could be a 50-50 game. But the one word that you've got with Madrid and with Benzema and that sort of player is pedigree. They've got the pedigree to do that. Do you know what I mean?
They go into the competition like we belong here,
Yeah, that's right.
When they go in, they're like,
they won it more times than anybody else. It's our trophy, take it off us if you can. I mean, you talked about Chelsea. I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if Chelsea will have a siege mentality. The whole world's against us, so let's show what we can do. I really don't know. I
don't think Tuchel's the guy to build that siege mentality. And I honestly believe that even though they are up against it, Chelsea as a football club, I don't know if they've got the players that it's not the Chelsea of old. It's not the John Terry, the Didier Drogba, the Frank Lampard.
But you say that, but they are the current holders.
No, but I'm just saying in this situation, I think Real Madrid are primed to go into that and smell a win.
But Lukaku's up front, man.
He's not playing, bro. Come on.
Damn it.
Let's be fair.
Love that.
So, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. I'm glad I got all your guys' thoughts on it. We haven't got much Premier League games, but we do have a Arsenal, Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard, come get their job done. Steven Gerrard, Aston Villa at home. Ernie, let's start with you. I know you said it's a walkover. Do you really think that's going to be a walkover for Arsenal?
Yeah, Arsenal's going to win that. Arsenal 2-0.
Wow.
Yep,
Scott.
Arsenal 2-0.
Scott, I know you're a secret Steven Gerrard fan. Come on.
Yeah. I still have memories of the cup final with Steven Gerrard when we won the cup but didn't go home with it.
But you admired the goal from where you were watching. Come on, man. 26 yards, Bredgin.
But the 10,000 Scousers that had already left missed it. And that's real talk.
I nearly switched off.
Yeah. Well, we was waving to them. See ya. As they were going. Where was we? Yeah, I think Arsenal win that game.
Rodney?
Not so sure. As I said,
Rodney on form today?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If Villa were to win that one, I wouldn't fall over with total surprise. I just think that historically, Arsenal can be brittle. If they were to win tomorrow on the back of the Liverpool defeat, they might be heading in the direction. They might be heading in the right direction. But tomorrow, I could see Villa turning Arsenal over tomorrow.
Jeez.
What is it? A late kickoff?
No, it's the lunchtime kickoff. It's the lunchtime kickoff.
Okay. You're on form today, Rodney Hines.
Yeah.
God, Rodney, listen, Rodney ain't taking prisoners today. He's coming and beating up, man.
Draw.
Edu.
Draw. I see a draw.
Do you know
1-1.
you know Arsenal need these points because these games in hand.
Games in hand are only good if you convert them into points. It sounds great when you look at the league table. You got to convert. But there's if Arsenal were to win tomorrow, then it puts pressure on the Super Sunday game, which Scott will be interested in. Tottenham West Ham.
Big game for us.
Hey?
Big game for us.
Yep. There'll be a right police there as well.
It always is.
I mean, that's a proper rivalry, Tottenham West Ham.
Wow.
No, trust me. That one is horrible.
Crystal. Sorry, Crystal. I know you're sounding like very optimistic because you were happy with the.
No, I am not.
No, you were happy with the performance.
The viewers false hope. I'm not optimistic, and if we're going to say optimistic, we say cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Because it is reality. Rodney's absolutely right. The Arsenal that we're so used to, and this is where it creates those fine margins. That's the ultimate test: is are you a brand new Arsenal, or are you just
a bit of echo on your mic?
Your fans, because they do have tendencies of going on unbeaten records throughout different gaps of the season, and then they fall apart. Now is obviously the worst time for them to fall apart. I don't think between now and May there is no easy fixtures there, because no team wants to lose. Aston Villa wants to win for obvious reasons, and Arsenal want to win because they want to start to create that gap between Manchester United, Tottenham, and I'll also include West Ham as well. And there's no better way to do that than to bounce back after losing against Liverpool at home, losing 2-0, which isn't a shameful loss, but you can't afford at this point of the season, given the position that you're in, you can't afford to lose two games on the trot.
I mean, the signs of a really, really good football team is that when you're down or when you need to get a result away from your own patch, you go and do it. Liverpool do it. Man United used to do it. City do it. Arsenal have still to prove that they can deliver.
Exactly.
And with the team, with the youngest average age in the Premier League and the most inexperienced coach in the league as well, there is still work to be done. So tomorrow is a tremendous test for me. Because Stevie G, even though they were quite disappointing, Villa, I thought, against West Ham last week, Scott, I thought that they didn't really do much, Villa. But I tell you what, I've got to mention a guy who's going to be really special. The boy Jacob Ramsey at Villa. He looks like he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, very good player.
He looks like he's going to be a really, really good player. Scores goals, got energy.
Yeah, he's all action. I watched. What's all the hype about?
Yeah.
Do you know
Is he on loan from someone? Is he on loan from somebody?
No. He's got a younger brother.
You're thinking of Dage Spence. Dage Spence is on loan. You're thinking of Dage Spence at Nottingham Forest.
The wing is a fullback, right?
Is Frank Lampard, not your.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, yeah. And he's proven himself.
Before we go. I want to hear about the West Ham way, because
hang on. Sorry. Just want to touch back on that error that the Ramsey. Ramsey is I don't know how many you've seen him play, but do you think he reminds you of? He's got that kind of all action game like a Bellingham. I think they could be the future for England.
Bellingham is a hell of a player.
Jeez, what a player.
I see someone like a Bellingham at Man United.
No, Liverpool. He's a Liverpool fan.
Nah, well, he might be a fan, but
if he goes to Manchester United, it'd be a problem. He is a player.
No, he's a player.
Ramsey looks like he can.
Him and Sancho at United, problem.
Why is it a problem, man? Because Maguire's going to be playing at the back.
No.
Yeah, but Sancho will be at the back.
Sancho's a really good player. I just hope he doesn't go, if you like, down the Rashford route at the moment. Doesn't make sense. He needs to be developed. He needs.
Do you think that the problem is probably these guys weren't being coached by Oli and they were just being told to go out and play? Because it seems that way. Everyone was just
go out and party.
The only thing
have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, DJ. But the only thing I would say, Oli's personality, I don't think was strong enough for some of the really big characters in that dressing room. Every time, United.
Talking about United.
All right, never mind. Sorry,
it's a football show, bro.
Mate, don't worry, mate. Don't worry.
Take the emotion out.
You're emotional. You're emotional.
Ernie,
a minute ago, you were saying it was all about United. We've gone somewhere. Now you're back in United.
What DJ did, he put a question out there, so we just picked up on it. But don't worry, Ern. Don't worry.
Calm down, Ernie, man. Ernie, I noticed that.
You know how much stick you have given me over the years.
I've given everybody stick. I'm
just talking about me. Do you know how much stick you would give me, bruv? You would send me WhatsApp and text messages that I couldn't even respond to.
And I still do.
No, you don't.
Let me ask you something. Hang on. Scott, you're like you're into like your ear miles is ton up now. You're going Europe. Who's the manager of Atletico Madrid, Scott?
Who's the manager?
Yeah.
Of Atletico Madrid?
Yes.
I haven't got a clue.
Let's move to the next panelist. Talawa TV. Who is the manager of Atletico Madrid?
Simeone.
Why? You know why? Because he actually auditioned on Wednesday for the job, the next manager of Manchester United.
I don't want him there.
You didn't want him there. This is what the fans for. That's your man.
That's right.
That's your man. The fans love him.
Yeah. All right.
That Old Trafford line. Lots of managers seem to like running up and down.
Running down the line. Yeah, they don't get the job. Then when they do get the job, they flop.
Ernie, Mourinho ran down the line and he was your man. So what? Simeone's done the same thing. You gave him champagne. Like he had dance.
He ain't getting the job.
Who would you want, Ernie? I think I've asked you.
I did. I mean, DJ broadened it out in terms of the whole structure needs to change. Ern, what about yourself? Manager.
Ernie, that's the guy, man. Champagne splash he was getting.
No.
Ting ton up for him.
Although Ajax has got knocked out, right?
Yeah.
I like the combination of Van der Sar, Rangnick, and Ten Hag.
You mean 5 Hag?
Well, whatever.
If he comes to Man United, he'd be 5 Hag. Ernie, think about it. You'll be battered to death. 5 Hag. Then it'll go down to 2.5 Hag. Come on, Ernie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, for me, if push came to shove, I'll probably go with Pochettino just because he has experience.
Ernie said he doesn't want him.
Ernie doesn't want Poch though.
Ernie doesn't want Pochettino.
I'd go for Poch. He has experience with players who are lower tier, and he's managed to get.
Bruv, he can't talk. He can't talk to the tree man them that he's got. PSG up front.
Yeah, you ain't got them.
Yeah, they man threw Tuchel out. Those men are impossible, man.
Yeah,
they're impossible. And he
egos.
So you won the Champions League.
If Poch comes in, enough people's got to go then, right? Because can he talk to Pogba? Can he talk to Ronaldo?
Yeah, he's a manager.
Can he talk to that fool round the back?
Ernie, it's not Sabutio. This is football. He's a football manager.
Okay.
Why do you think it's Sabutio? He's a football manager.
Am I going to hear about the West? Scott told me he's going to tell me about the West Ham way. I need to hear about it because there's every possibility that I might have my London team.
All right, calm down. All right. Scott.
Yeah.
Ernie's got a question for you. Calm down. Struce, you're on top form. Bring back Rodney Hines and it's flipping. It's like.
Tell me about the West Ham. Maybe Rodney knows, but Rodney's Arsenal. Tell me about the West Ham way because we've been asking this question on this show since we started.
Hey, Daddy Ernie.
Yeah. All right, I'll take it. And I'll be in the street to get beat bad as well. I have not got a problem. When I go out and DJ, they get out. Scott, when I'm down at Alien Island, what do they do to me, Scott?
They beat you bad. Beat you bad.
Thank you. Right.
The West Ham way.
Thank you, Aaron.
Ready? You ready for it?
Yeah.
The West Ham way is it doesn't matter how your ability is or what your standard is. If you give 100% for the shirt, that's the West Ham way. Simple as that.
Okay.
So there's nothing. You don't need a GPS. You don't need to use Waze or anything like that.
No, man. Nothing like that.
Are you telling me what most? Hang on. Are you telling me, Scott, what Accrington Stanley and all these clubs up and down the country, Middlesbrough, who are in the FA Cup, and Nottingham Forest, are you telling me the same thing that they have? It's the same direction West Ham is in. So why do you title it the West Ham way?
The West Ham way was back in the day going up against a multi-million-pound club and have Barthez waving in goal whilst Di Canio slides it in. That's the West Ham way. Do you remember that, Ernie?
He's talking about us now as well.
I just had to mention it.
We're the banter team.
No, Scott. Somebody said it had something to do with a book or something like that. Was it? Is it not? No. It wasn't the title of a book.
No, it's to do with effort.
Ernie, I think you better check with Trevor Weish. I think that is. Somebody said it was a book, West Ham Way. Yeah, something was. It was.
There might be a book, West Ham Way, but the actual West Ham Way is just giving 100% for the shirt.
It's either a book or it's either a road sign in East London.
No, I've not heard of that before.
There's no road sign.
The West Ham
Rodney,
Way.
have you seen anything? Any road signs that says West Ham Way?
No, just Pudding Mill Lane. That's all I've seen. That's nearby.
That doesn't sound very West Hamish.
I've got to say though, the West Ham Way. You know, we talk about Newcastle supporters, Liverpool supporters in that very sort of revered way. West Ham supporters, when it's going well, and last night it went well.
Yeah.
Wow, it was crazy there last night. Trust me, it was crazy. Trust me.
But when it goes wrong,
but when it goes wrong, they end up in Westfield half an hour before the game's over.
Shopping.
I've seen that happen as well.
That's a bit harsh.
No, they disappear.
Well, they closed Westfield last night. They closed it when we were there.
They closed it. Yeah, the police strategy was great last night, man. You couldn't get out of there, man.
Oh,
you couldn't get out.
Can we close since Ernie wants us to stay away from? Stay away from Manchester United.
Yep, stay away.
We'll close with our guest, Scott James. Scott. Now, obviously, we know what the current situation that's happening right now. Ukraine and Russia are still trying to have some talks to end this war. Yarmolenko is becoming a folk hero already with 2 goals. I mean, he couldn't get arrested at West Ham. He scored 2 goals. Did you cry when he scored the winner?
I didn't cry, but to be honest, I did feel quite emotional because obviously we've all seen the TV, we've all seen the war, we've all seen the kids and the children and everything that's gone is just horrific. And he has had some compassionate leave. Moyes giving him some leave. And obviously to collect his thoughts and to communicate with his family and make sure things are all right. And then obviously he comes back and he's got 2 goals. And it's I'm not going to lie, I'm not a lover of him. He's not he doesn't sort of do it the West Ham way, if you like, if that's what it is. He doesn't always.
Pudding Mill Lane.
Yeah, he's a little bit,
Pudding Mill Lane
in some games. But he's popped up with 2 goals. And it couldn't come at a better time for him and the club. So
if he scores 1 more winner, maybe the goal that gets West Ham top 4
statue. Yeah,
I knew it. That
he's
sounds very.
He's got to stand next to Bobby Moore. He'll have the right to the left of Bobby Moore.
Some sort of engraving somewhere, but possibly a statue. Yeah.
I don't think the council would want a statue at their running track. I don't think the council will have that. So you'd have to. I don't think that will happen. Listen, guys, it's been an amazing show. Did you hear that, Talawa? No problem. That David Moyes gives players compassionate leave, so Antonio will be off again on the beach to Jamaica. Hopefully, Jamaica will end their qualifying games, and Scott will be happy. But listen, guys, thank you for joining us. Rodney Hines, thanks for joining us again, brother. DJ Edu, catch him on One Extra. He's the Afro Beats General. Scott James with from Burnley / Aston Villa / West Ham. We can't tell, it's just the colours. And of course, we know the colours. Talawa TV, catch her on her own channel. And the great daddy Ernie. Ernie, what are we gonna do next week? There's no Man United. What are we gonna do? Would you want to go next week? Tell me from you. Tell me what do you want to do next week?
Well, if Arsenal lose, we take the piss out of Arsenal.
Guys,
Rodney, on mute.
Guys, can I just request one thing?
It doesn't get any bigger than Ghana, Nigeria World Cup playoffs next coming up. Yeah, you could probably preview that. And I'll just give you a quick score from the Premier League. Wolves were beating Leeds 2-0 at Molineux. It's now 2-2. Leeds are fighting back.
Wow!
Oh, they came back.
How the hell did they do that?
Yeah. And there's 67 minutes gone. It's just gone 2-2. Leeds are
There's
fighting.
a red card in that as well, right, Rodney?
Sorry?
There's a red card for Jimenez in that one as well.
Yeah, there's a red card for Wolves in that one.
He's done it again, Jimenez.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys. Thanks for joining us. Everybody who's watching the show, please, if you're watching the show now, please press the like button. It's so important that you press the like button. It helps with the algorithms, the Punani rhythms, and all these rhythms. Any rhythm you want. You want the old school rhythm? Ernie likes old school rhythms.
Remember, we're on Sky.
Yes, Sky Channel 182. The channel's called Channel 7. And lots of people are watching. They love Ernie. He's folklore in Ireland. They love you in Ireland, Ernie.
Yeah, man.
Apparently.
You know that. I had a Guinness yesterday. It was St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, all my Irish brothers, the green guys. You know what I mean? Edu, enough respects. Talawa, Scott.
Robbo, just
Take care, everyone.
Before we go,
Okay.
can I just ask, when we won the cup, can I come back and talk again? Is that all right?
Listen, you can come back anytime. Just anytime. Just keep the ear miles going. Keep it comfortable.
Come back with a trophy, yeah?
Yeah, man. Listen, have yourself a blessed.
Take care.
Back next week, 8 p.m. The Fixture list. Peace.
Sports. Manchester United.
Man.